All right, everyone. Thank you so much for being here. I'm Dr. Isabelle Amigues from UnabridgedMD, and this is a live. Last week we talked about we have talked so far about rheumatology topics and particularly Sjogren. We talked about lupus. Definitely want to talk about more like rheumatoid arthritis and vasculitis, but I thought. I've had some really cool moments recently in my practice, and I just thought that I would, present a little bit myself and share a little bit of why I started this practice, and also what it has brought to me as well as my patients. And the reason I'm doing this is that I am currently looking at how do you explain? So I think that I'm having a love and hate relationship with social media. I have an app that blocks it. I don't actually have the app of Instagram, which is why sometimes you may see some of my posts that look really weird. Because I get addicted very easily to social media, and it actually makes my life very it doesn't elevate my life, and I just love people. I love seeing people. I love meeting my patients. I love reading. And so I try not to be on social media, but at the same time, there's so much we can get from social media. So I really have this love-hate relationship with social media. And so to kind of come to peace with this social media aspect of this practice, right? That's how people can learn from me, that they can learn of me, they can learn from me. I started this course that's called Rite of Passage, and where the idea is to find the core idea. And I just had the first meeting yesterday. And one of the questions they had was, what would you talk about, discuss, either write or discuss? And, this idea that a lot of it is not good on social media. There's a lot that's not great on social media. And how do we bring the best of us into social media so that it's not part of this quantity just noise, but really something of value. And we had those exercises, and one of the exercises was like, what would you want to talk about? Like that's good for both your head and your soul. And I remember I thought about this, and I was like, wow, I would like to share my own experience as a direct care rheumatologist or concierge rheumatologist, and so this is why I'm sharing this. It's going to be very vulnerable. If you're here to learn something of rheumatology, this is not the day. You're going to learn about my practice and me. Basically, you're going to learn about me. I'm just going to be very vulnerable. I'm going to tell you my story, right? So I'm going to share my story. I'm assuming you know a little bit about my story, but I'm going to make it very short, and then I'm going to explain. I'm going to kind of fast forward to the moment where I was, a physician, not sure of what I was doing, what I wanted to do, basically. So I'm French, clearly, cannot hide it. I did my medical school in France and fell in love with rheumatology. And internal medicine. Internal medicine in France is a little different than internal medicine in here. It's very much like rheumatology, and it's very like the doctor house of medicine. Basically, I came to the US for love, and basically had to do my fellowship again, residency and fellowship again, and I did this. And then we moved to Denver, Colorado from New York City. At 40, when finally, really everything could have been looking really good, I actually had my midlife crisis, and then got a diagnosis of stage 4 breast cancer. And again, I'm going to fast forward that part. But what's really interesting is that I went really deep into what this was bringing me. I didn't know if I would make it. And I really used this experience to learn about who I was, who I am, what I wanted truly. And one of the things that occurred at that moment was that I wanted to have a connection with my kids that I had not created. They were 3 at the time. And I also realized that, we tried everything with my then husband, that it didn't work. And so we were, I pretty much loved him, but we were not in love. And so I wanted love in my life. And so That was the first part. And then so as I was rebuilding myself, actually COVID happened just after, but as I was rebuilding myself at the institution I was in, and I was really much into like doing research. If you look at my, publication, I've had quite a bit, and I really like research. But what happened is that I started just feeling that the care that I was offering just wasn't the one that I wanted to offer. And what I mean by that is that I felt always rushing from one room to the other, to the other, to the other. I wanted to give my cell phone to the patients, but I also knew that if I were to do this, I would have no life outside of taking care of my patients because there were so many, right? And also there were times that I wanted to share things with my patient or like have discussion with my patient. And I realized that I couldn't see them because the system just would not allow me to see them. Like maybe there was a red tape with the nurse, or maybe it was that I couldn't see them before 7 months. They were seeing someone in between me and them. That there was maybe like a nurse practitioner that they would see before they would see me. And so I remember talking to this, I have a French mentor that's, basically he told me they are removing the pleasure of practicing medicine. And this hit me because that's exactly how it felt. I felt that I wasn't having any pleasure in practicing medicine. And we're talking about someone that even when I was undergoing chemo, radiation therapy, surgery, I went to work because I love it. I wanted to take care of my patients. And here I was not even working that much because I had a really wonderful institution that was really supportive. But despite that, I felt that I wasn't able to offer the best of me because of the system. Nothing to do with, the institution was doing their best and all this. And so, and this is where it was a big leap of faith, because I was like, well, can I open a practice where I don't take insurance? And the reason is I don't want to work for an insurance system. I want to work for my patients. Can I create again this relationship between the patient and the physician, which is this relationship that's, we know is healing, right? Like, so during my cancer journey, I saw, well, an oncologist, of course, but I also saw like some healing therapists, and, you can call it woo-woo, but here's the thing, like if you have stage 4, you want the placebo on your side. And so I was like, well, where can I find the placebo? And very fast if someone is like, if it's not making you feel good, you're not going to continue to pay. Like it makes no sense. And so I saw some charlatans, but I also saw people who were incredibly supportive of me. And I really think that they helped me for my journey. And so I wanted to be that. I wanted to be both the physician that's provide Western medicine science backed up by, studies and really rigorous training, and 2 of them, right? 2 trainings. But I also wanted to bring the power of a healing listening, of a healing touch. And so how could I do this if I only had 20, 25 minutes to see a patient? And I just felt that I didn't have the time to do this in the previous practice, because when you have an insurance, this is how much they pay, what they pay. So very often they may not even pay. So you have to have a billing company. So then your overhead goes up. And, basically you're spending all of this time to make sure that the insurance is paying you. And it just made, like, to me, I was just like, well, I want to work for my patients. Okay. So I started this in January 2020, well, last year, right? January 2023. And let me tell you, it's been incredible. And I just want to share a little bit of what it has changed for me and some of the outcome I've had for the patients. And look, yes, social media is here to like get patients to see me, but I'm not selling. Like, I love what I do. Like, I'm a physician. I'm doing like it's always going to be great, right? And so it's more. It's really more to say that when something doesn't work in your life, you have ways to fix it. And it's to not keep the status quo. So if you are a patient, for example, and you're not happy with where you are, you don't have to stay where you are. You can find a second opinion. They exist. Like, there are second opinion. And then if you're a physician or a trainee that's listening, do realize that you can create your own path. And I think that I'm really the example of that. Now, it was not easy because I was very scared at first. I was like, well, I'm in this employed position and I'm about to be an entrepreneur. And I'm single, I don't have a husband anymore, right? Like I was saying. So I'm single and I cannot rely on a partner. Yet I was like, well, I need to do this. I did not survive a cancer. Like I did not go through this cancer to not be true to who I really am. And I can always go back into an institution. I can always do traveling physician work. But I want to try this. I want to see if I can offer the best of rheumatology to my patients. Okay. And how does that look? Well, I can see my patients. I can see patients within a week or two. Honestly, like sometimes, really like the opening days that I have, it will be a month of waiting. But like I'm always saying like, hey, if you want to be seen this week, I will make the time and I will see you this week. Why? Because if you're in pain, I don't want you to have to wait. If you're stressed out, I don't want you to have to wait. Because if it were me, I would not want that for me. Okay. Then we see, like when I see the patient, I can take a full hour and a half. I could also do more. Literally, the reason I say 1 hour and a half is that I feel very good about 1 hour and a half. It allows that time to understand really what's going on in the lives of patients, how much they are affected by their condition. But also, like, I just had this patient recently, and we talked about 90 minutes about just their symptoms. At the end, I had a full diagnosis. I'm clear, like, and I made a joke with them, and I was like, yeah, take a marathon or a race. What is it that I said? Something like you want to race. I'm pretty sure I can get you to race in the fall. So buy your tickets for the race. And if you cannot, I will reimburse you. And that was like something that I could not have done in my previous practice, like where I was in an institution, because I didn't feel like I could be me. And here I can be me, fully me, with, like having fun, like making jokes, being fully me, because this is what I offer to the patient and what I offer. And the 90 minutes, I get to understand everything, like not everything, of course, sometimes, you need blood work, you need x-rays, but so much more can be said in that 90 minutes consultation. The other thing is that the patient is paying, and because they are paying, I really do believe this because I offered the care to one patient, and I'm sure we had a great visit, but they never followed up. And I was just like, but it's free. Like, I want to get you to full remission, but they never followed up. And I do think that if they had paid, they would have followed up because you're invested in your health. I want to pay when I see a therapist, because that amount is actually an amount that I'm paying on me. It's not the therapist I'm paying. It's literally me saying I'm paying for me. So when patients are coming and saying me, they're paying for them. Yes, I get thanked with money, but like really they're paying for them. And that has, I think, a therapeutic effect. I really do think that way. Then, we do usually like blood work, x-rays, that usually confirms the diagnosis, but we usually start treatment. What I have seen so far is that this time creates the connection with the patient. And that allows for such a deeper connection, but deeper meaning. And then the patients can actually talk to me. They have my cell phone. They can text me. They can share with me how everything is going. And that way, we achieve remission faster. So remember, remission is not cured. Cured means that you have no medication. Remission means that you may have medication, but you have no more sign of condition, no more sign of disease. And that's huge. So some of the things that have been incredible for me have been to see patients happy because they finally have no more pain, no more sweating, no more, because they finally understood how the medications work. They finally understood what they have And I think really for me, the most incredible thing in this practice has been to see this relationship with patients. I know that I don't know, like I feel like I probably would not have said this before, but I really do love my patients. There is really a sense of love and of caring, and I really want the best for every single patient that has a rheumatologic disorder. And of course, if they are my patient, I even want that more because I know them and I care for them and I'm part of their lives. And that has been an incredibly what's the word, fulfilling journey. And like as I'm looking, well, I can tell you the practice is going well. We have many patients that want to be part of the practice, where I'm still open. I still have more energy for more, but I also know that it's on my terms. What I mean by that is that if I see one day that, okay, that's enough, I don't want more patients because I don't have the bandwidth and I really want to be the best for my patients, I will stop seeing patients, like new patients. I will continue to take care of my patients, but I'll stop adding more. We're not there yet. I feel more energy to see more patients, but what I can tell you is just that this feeling of caring for my patients has been incredibly empowering, incredibly fulfilling. And one of the reasons I share this is not just for the patients. If you're a patient, and I'm a patient, right? If you're a patient, of course, that's really, really nice to see this because you want your doctor to be happy, right? But I think it's also for other doctors. And I'm not telling all of our doctors to become what I have become, right? Like to become a concierge doc or like direct care doc. It's not this, but it's just this seeing that is possible. And so I think I'm going to close this because it's been 17 minutes and I try to leave those 10 to 15 minutes. I just want to say thank you to everyone that's watching those shows. I want to say thank you to all of my patients. I want to say thank you to, to the universe, to the world, like, if you call it God. It's just like realizing that being true to ourselves really brings us the most beautiful thing in life and the most fulfilling things in life. And it's funny, I'm becoming emotional, but during my cancer journey, like I really learned how to love myself and to be okay, for example, that my marriage wasn't going to work, and it's okay, like it was okay. But I think if I can share this, I didn't want to be a physician just to be a physician and just to be a technician. I really wanted to offer the best care to my patient. And I feel like I'm offering that. And I just really want to pause everyone to realize that life is not given. We're so lucky to live every day, right? And you can live happy, you can live fulfilled. And I think I'm the example of what can be done. I'm not special by any means. I just trust. And I also trust that, it's okay. Like it's okay that failures happen. Like you can always go back. Like what's the big deal? It's life, and you try, and there's not one peak and then coming down. It's literally every day. Like just learning something new. So I didn't know where this would take me. I just wanted to share my story, and I wanted to be vulnerable, and vulnerable I've never cried on the show before, but here I am. Look, everyone, thank you so much for being here. Rock Dog, thank you so much. What are you saying? There's an old saying that goes, if you enjoy your job, you'll never work a day in your life. Yeah, that is exactly how I feel. I feel so good about this. Yeah, I do not work. Someone was saying, oh, you don't work because you see patients 2 days a week. And first of all, I see them more, but I actually, it's just that I don't feel like I'm working because I love what I do. And it's just an honor to do what I do. And I'm just so grateful to be here with everyone and all the people that are giving me their trust. And you guys that are giving me some of your time to listen to my story. So thank you. Don't watch too much social media. Just use it, to the best of you. But Again, and I'm seeing on Instagram quite a bit of you guys have joined, and I'm sorry because I have those two things up. Constance, you're listening. Merci. Haley, Nicole, of course, I love you. Annette, Dr. Minaskin, Tiff, Michelle, SoCal Girl, and all of the people who are going to watch this after. I guess this is out of the box. I'm going to say thank you, Tiff, for the recommendation of Rite of Passage, because you're the one who recommended I go there. And it's already changing my life, clearly. Thank you so much. And see you next week. We will talk rheumatology. Bye-bye.